Welcome back to some more teasers about floods of reds. Yeah, I'm doing more level of these again. There's three more for you today. This one involving Norway. Event for Poland when Josef Piłsudski dies, and there's stuff for Brazil that's gonna be for the reworked Brazil stuff for the United Right. But first, we're gonna start off with Norway. Carl V as a conservative with we've got America in red flood. If the background is a certain color, that usually means like what ideology they're part of. So I think that's conservative. I can't misremember that, but anyway. Challenging times. Gentlemen, we need to discuss an issue that's important to the future of our country. Begin the king. Already inevitable positions deteriorated sharply with those recent arrests, and frankly, I won't want to wait until a war growing between us and the Northwest, dividing Norway for decades. Give me attention, I must insist on increasing the military budget for the restoration of legal order throughout the kingdom. The story perked up. Snorting perked up, noticeably, eyes glancing at each other. Somewhat surprised, somewhat bewilderment. Your Highness, I will allow myself the point that we simply cannot increase the military budget for the sake of self-adventure. We have a mandate from the voters who express no strong desire to experience fresh turmoil. Given the precariousness of our internal affairs, says Speaker Hambo. His backbencher sigh. Definitely missing that. Murmuring ephemerally behind her. I perfectly understand their concerns, but fail to consider that there are forces that can help us regain possession of the kingdom. A patrimony that belongs to me, my family, and the people of Norway. We cannot afford to wait until we lose what little we have left, said the king. I believe that you cannot pass a budget bypassing parliament. We may argue forever, but the days of the old son starting are gone. The people have their own voice, said Humbo. Firmly firm in his position. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Therefore, I am bringing the following question to vote. Should we increase the military budget? Please, gentlemen. Who votes for aye? But some people raised their hands. There were signs of horror. Who votes for nay? A show of hands rose up. According to the results of the vote, the military budget would not increase. Thank you for your attention. You don't understand the consequences. So yeah. So it seems like, since Norway split between the Kingdom of Norway and Socialist Norway, it seems like the king wants to go after them Reds. They're taking over most of Norway. Because I'm trying to remember how Norway looked. Yeah, I think like they control like a small portion of Norway, and like they control from basically all across the Swedish border, if I remember quickly. Yeah, but it seems like Carl V wants to go out for reclamation of lost territory. So I think it's gonna be, it might lead to something if this event shows up. Maybe someone will coup the king. Maybe the king will succeed. Maybe something happens that leads to war. Who knows? But it's gonna be quite interesting. Anyway, up next we got the fucking Poland and the death of the marshal to be in Marshal Piłsudski. Let's do that. Josef Piłsudski was not in the best mood. Only had a few weeks or days or maybe even hours of life left. That damn cancer was hard him. He was seen in front of the bewildered pile of his faithful wicker chair, and despite the doctor's contradictions, he smoked a pipe. He looked away at the scenery, a beautiful, bustling woman to our side. He clenched his eyes off the scenery and began to say, I've given my whole life to the nation and other nations. What the fuck will happen when I'm gone? All of this is going to hell, and I pray for more hours on this goddamn life. It doesn't make sense because I'm just prolonging my agony. Fuck it all, but this whole nation spreading out all over 3 seas, the greatest work of my life. I wouldn't trade this boat for anything else. I'm proud of you all. Please don't fuck this up, and you, beautiful woman, do not pass away. After what Piłsudski does out one last puff of smoke away from his pipe and groan. Down his stomach, dropping the pipe and falling out of the chair. Worldly sense of sorry. Immediately discovered the unconscious Piłsudski, and together with Alexander Pester, called Father Vladislav Kowalczyk and Piłsudski's doctors. Piłsudski suddenly woke up announcing it was muffled with fierce curses. You receive an anointing from Father, but quickly lost his strength again and collapsed. Despite strenuous attempts of the doctors, Piłsudski couldn't be rescued. At the marshal's heart stopped beating, Colonel Dr. Stefan, yes I say that, Marzowski prepared a death certification. Chowilo, she's the pig. I'm sorry, butchering that Polish. I'm so sorry, Poland. Sorry for you, Poland. Yeah, that's the whole death of the marshal event, which is, it seems like this is gonna get expanded upon. Well, if I remember correctly, I think Poland's gonna get an expansion as well, because the only really thing about the despotist path. But I am quite curious to see how this new like revamped Poland's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be complete rework. I just think it's just gonna be an expansion of Poland between all of the guys, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Trying to remember. It's been a bit since I played Poland redflood. Anyways, the emergency gathering. The crystal coffin which Piłsudski's body was put in has been temporarily placed in the crypt of Saint Leonard. It's going to be kept alone for long over the Moscow's old remains. Multiple left-wing members of the sanctioned party accused Father Władysław Korolewicz of having poisoned Piłsudski. In response, the church quickly launched its own guns by refusing his burial in the cathedral. Victim under pressure from the government, Cardinal Stefan Sniffier agreed to lend a burial place for Piłsudski. If I'm butchering these names, my bad. The Poland and ex-president go to the court year, despite the great respect for Piłsudski that the Poles give him. They couldn't deny that he was the last thing that kept together the huge group called Synergia. Valery Silvik, one of the candidates and the main ideologues of Synergia, that's him over here, was attacked for his uncompromising willingness to maintain the status quo. He dismissed his accusation, showing that Piłsudski's thoughts would have passed on with his bodiless reforms, the introduction of a pure, meritocratic, and nonpartisan political system in which entire society would subsequently evolve in the good state. There's basically, as I said, status quo. As part of the ZBRS-related old PPS came forward with their own representative, Ignacy Deseski, close friend of Piłsudski from the old days. He needed to go to the so-called Sanation government. Should be transitioned to a democracy untainted to its in other melodies characteristic of the early years of the Second Polish Republic. For this reason, he has been accused by both Russian and rival party of being too friendly with the opposition. So he's going to be the pro-democracy guy. Related to progressive, because I think that's. I'm pretty sure if. I'm trying to remember if it was a different guy or the same guy, but if the one guy came into power, I'm trying to remember his fucking name. It would progress into progressive. Traditional democracy and become progressive with the universal basic income and all that shit. So I remember if that was this guy or some other guy. But yeah. The third king is Edward Smedley Reed, the current general inspector of the armed forces, who on the other hand accused of planning a brutal takeoff of the Marshals and striving to establish a military junta. Smedley, who was the title of Piłsudski's right-hand man, is big support in the military, but many questions his position. As the Marshal spoke a number of times about his incompetence, it's understood the right wing of ZBSR doesn't want to put an idiot that could become the puppet in charge. The conflict goes in government when the likely says is ready to contend to the elimination of Polish widows and orphans. Millions of Poles are mourning, praying to God or gods for what's these three? Yeah, I think this is the regular military path that Adam takes over via coup and goes basically to the Mintomarium. Yeah. You gotta help him billionaires and Eagle Rocks under the leadership of Valery Silvik. He made followers on what the same path together and the guys in Idrisky. A piece of mind with the pupils are red from the War of Thunder under Edward Smedley Reed. Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be a much more revamped and expanded beginning of Poland. Makes me think that these three leaders are gonna be getting some expansion in their content. Cause it's quite short. There's nothing too much for them, but anyway. So we got Brazil over here. From the left and the right, we're gonna start with the left over here. And then we'll do Disunited Rights next. Anyway, committed this civical Trebocista Consulhatus. When we survived the revolution without being purged, the anarchist movement in Brazil was pleasantly surprised when they were given a voice in the committee to direct Brazil's future. While his voice was worked, they almost ignored by the legalists and tentists. The anarchists of Brazil have taken a profound pro-intertonal stance and have been given much more time to make across the seas to form their own substitute hospitals among other institutions among the lowest level of real government. Yeah, if I remember correctly, this starts like Brazil just had a left-wing coup not too long ago, so yeah, they're trying to solidify the whole holdings, which can be usurped by the right rather quickly. Because since the coup just happened, there's still plenty of right-wing people. Anyway, committing the civical tribunals, legalists. I'm gonna say this, legalistas. They're basically the same thing. When we get over here. The largest Muslim political faction in Tantona. Largely for other military generals or public officials who believe in continuing all legal processes of the revolution. Clearly maintaining Mullah's authority as provisional leader, however, the only characteristic of the legalist. Of course, those who more maintain order compared to the factions are largely influenced due to the will of political bureaucracy, allowing them to maintain their positions. Whilst they are conventional treated quite poorly within the propaganda of the agrarian others, they are extremely important for the functioning of Brazil's socialist society, being vanguard socialists. Anyway. Tindatistas, the second largest faction of Brazil's socialist movement. Tindatistas are mostly rural-rank soldiers and corporals who have been fighting the anarchists since the early 1920s under Patrice Colomb. Forming the majority of the army, they are surprisingly still with the legal process and understanding the need of separate army and government. With this, they are deeply restricted and love of the people, especially so in urban population centers. So they're popular socialists. If I remember my ideologies correctly, I could be getting these wrong, so you correct me in the comments below. Anyway, they got the Agrellos. Being such a politically weak faction in the Workers' Salvation Committee means that the agrarians often have to rely on the populist ethics to function. James put them at odds with many committees who seek to string the dictatorship of the proletariat and democratic centralism. The former being interpreted much differently than the latter being rejected. They have famously committed pure democratic of organization, which makes them weaker in the party apparatus. It does make them well beloved of the people. The revisionist socialists and the agrarian sect need to be focused on farmers and raw shit. So they would be agrarian socialism, I think. I think that's pretty sure that is like a sub-ideology for popular revisionist socialism. This is popular socialism. Anyways, the technocratists of the accelerationists, my favorites. The technocratic wing of Brazil's Workers' Salvation Committee is pretty much the black sea of Brazil's socialist policies. I formed out the Abilo Tinakitis 1927 Technocratic Manifesto for a New Brazil, started to create a new faction, the PCB, focused on adopting several Bolshevik measures in Brazil's social and religious climate. So it's God building, similar to Bogdanov in Brazil to Rossi and the rework. While these ideas are not the most popular in the late 20s, they have proven to grow exponentially among party intellectuals, and officials as part of the wider party relationship with Bolsheviks to Russia. Yep. It's gonna be technocracy, as you see over here. Now for the Disunited Rights. So we're gonna start from the least to most right wing with the Partido Socialista Brazil. A very small party, the Socialist Party of Brazil, formed immediately in the 1930s revolution as a progressive capitalist party using socialist terminology, not going anywhere near the Red Forces. Remember, the PSB took a neutral stance to the conflict, something that would cost them their influence or possibility in the future. Yeah, so they're left wing, but not like this left wing. And the Partido Republicano, Rio Grandes, being the first one to go from the oligarchical dominance of the politics and Republican parties, the Rio Grande Republican Party has sought to take on the official stance against the coffee milk policy, seen as tyranny and bullying by more prominent states. Yet the stance does not mean any pretenses of abandoning the coalition, being firmly in favor of anti-Intentona coalition. They are the liberals. And the Partido Republicano Mineiro, presented the coffee and milk policy, the Mineiro Republican Party, is less influential than its rival in Sao Paulo. As well as milled out from the original census, the party's old guard, having started to grow a strong rivalry to the police, the Republicans, due to very different about things like political amnesty policy, and the conservatives. As you can see, these guys are not getting along with, not getting because of the coffee and milk policy. Which I think was the fucking I'm trying to remember what the coffee and milk policy was. I can't remember anymore. Damn it. Anyway, it'll come back to me if not. Wait, I think it was the fucking oh yeah, it was the fucking oligarchy shit of working peasants were like low level workers. Hell of a lot. It slipped my mind. It's been a bit. My bad. But yeah, so like these two are for it. These two are against it. So let's see some more about the Partido Republicano Paulista. He originated of the coffee milk policy, the Police Republican Party, the undoubtedly definition of old money. There are people associated with Republicans of the Benjamin Constant age. The party is responsible for some of the worst offenses of the oligarchical government, and yet it proves itself to still be a giant of Brazilian politics, even when it has been left by a rival government in the process of war. Yeah. These two for it, these two against it. What's about these other two? The Junta Nacional. Despite the intentions of several arbitrators, it become clear that Svigo would not give the position of the legitimate needs of the anti-red Brazil. There's a strong faction of the murder of several high-ranking generals who seek to empower their interests in a program of national economics that seeks to dismantle oligarchic dominance. They create a pseudo-corporatist economic system in Brazil, along with strong emphasis on free enterprise. It becomes stronger, albeit still extremely fringe. Yeah, they're going the old way with national economics and how to deal with the oligarchies in Brazil, which is what the coffee and milk policy is all about, if I remember correctly. Yeah, someone can correct me in the comments below, because it's slipping my mind. I'm sorry about this. And last but not least, we have the Acá Integralista Brazil. Oh, these are the integralists, if I remember correctly. Disgraced to unimaginable level, the Brazilian integralist movement has been a pariah of Brazilian political science at the very foundation of a wider anti-internal force. Whilst the original intention of unifying all far-right movements in Brazil seemed impossible, what ended up happening was a split with the Frente Negra Brasilia, resulting in all the movements' momentum dismantling the most anti-internal forces sought to join other movements. And the integralist open monarchism did not help them gain favors in the Republican remnants. Thus, they are now a smaller ring of renegade movements left to the dustbin of history, according to all odds. Although, based on them appearing over there, I'm assuming that they can come back from the brink. It'll be interesting to see things that monarchists and all that. It makes me think that they might be a coup. Like maybe they can get like a national rejuvenationist by the accelerationist coup. Because if they're unifying all the right wings and far right wing people. Makes sense that there's gonna be something involving that. Or at least there's gonna be something explaining about this. I am curious to see how this new Brazil is gonna work. Since the old Brazil, you can't play it anymore. Like the two sides that you've seen, yeah, those are basically all that remains of the old Brazil. This whole new Brazil is gonna be interesting to see. So I'm curious to see how exactly this is gonna work. I'm also curious to see how the collapse is gonna work as well. I feel like that's gonna be something interesting to see over here. Whenever that comes out. So yeah, these are 3 teasers with Norway, Poland, and Brazil. With potential interesting things happen with Carl. Expansion of base Poland in Red Flood. And some new shit for Brazil. So yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see. Can't wait to see what else they got in store. All that good shit. So until then, it's your boy the Mad Artist, and see if I can find some more teasers. In the meantime, I shall see you guys later. Bye.